Welcome to the 230th episode of News Dump, where we run through the hottest topics in the Lewis County news scene and discuss. I'm local man Aaron VanTuyl, joined by Chronicle executive editor Eric Schwartz and Chronicle photojournalist Cody Christian making his return. We were off last week. Cody's been, shooting sports? Busy?
Yeah, sports and news. Went to Seattle today to take a broken camera to the camera mechanic.
Got it fixed?
They told me it'd be a week until they sent Chad the estimate for how much it would cost.
It'll be a lot. It's always a lot.
It's going to be a long time and a lot of Chad money. Hopefully I'll get my camera back.
Chad and Coralie money.
Chad and Coralie money, yeah.
Yeah.
It's under Chad's account.
Sick. Good story.
Yeah.
We're off to a hot start.
Just here because I bumped into Aaron in the parking lot.
That's how most of our guests come in.
Turning on his anti-theft device on his convertible. I saw the mouth clamping down on
parking it right below the pigeons again, as
below
usual?
the pigeons, right in front of the "Do Not Park Here" City of Centralia sign. What is that about?
Those are just so people stop driving over that curb down into the alley, which is how I always exit the parking lot, so I kind of feel personally attacked.
Owen exits like that in his little tiny car.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
It's impressive, yeah.
Owen's car's nicer than yours, though.
It is.
It is. It's what, like a Geo?
Mm-hmm.
No,
Suzuki
Swift.
Swift.
Right.
I'd rather have Owen's car.
Don't disrespect.
Any preambles before we... we're joined in spirit by sponsors Summit Funding, Shields Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor. We should address last week Schwartz is on yet another family vacation.
Yet another?
A haughty
Never
vacation.
on vacation. I didn't even leave town.
Down in the Maldives with your family? Or
yeah,
were you
that's
one
where
of the Schwartz estates in one of your European castles the family owns?
You still managed to be here from like 6 a.m. to 3 p.m. every day.
Yeah, well, you know.
I don't know. What time did you get here in the morning those days?
Oh, I don't know. Went to Great Wolf Lodge, though. It was my first time.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah, you enjoyed getting coughed on by wet children?
I had fun. I did remember that water parks, man, pretty gross places.
Especially when they're contained. It makes you think that thing's kind of like a terrarium.
Yeah, I actually thought of that. Like, looking out of the glass, it felt like if you were in some sort of laboratory and you were the thing being examined under the microscope.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went there. Go ahead.
No, go
I
ahead.
had fun, though. I want to say I did have fun. I didn't mean disrespectful Great Lodge. I mean, like, water parks in general. I was, like, in the wave pool with my kids. And
I think water parks kind of belong
it's
outside.
just like a human soup. A bunch of flesh floating around in a pot.
With a lid on the pot. It's like,
But it was fun.
I went there once when I was little, and I had to leave after like a couple hours just because there's so much chlorine in the air.
Yeah,
I had allergies. I couldn't even breathe.
Oh, I bet they got the chlorine cranked up so high there.
For
just
sure.
All kinds of bacteria.
I'm thankful
Drive out all
for
the little
that.
wimps.
I'm thankful for that. But it was fun. It was a good time.
All right. Any preamble? We were, any other preambles?
No, I don't think so. I think that'll do it.
All right. Yeah, we don't have anything super exciting. I made notes last week for an episode, but you were on vacation.
Yeah,
so
I opened it up. It was like a friggin'
like a
time capsule.
Yeah.
Like reading about news from long ago. I like the stuff you had on your notes might be in our Saturday look back history roundup. I don't know. Could be.
They might be.
Owen brought that back, by the way, and I really, really enjoyed the history.
Oh, like been back 10, 20, 30 years?
Yeah, he actually goes back further. I think he starts in like 1925 or 1935.
Those have been fun to
Hopping
read.
on the microfiche?
Yeah, there was some confusion because it wasn't known to everyone that back in the day, not even that long ago, you didn't name women, you just that were married. So like if Cody's wife was in the paper, she would be Mrs. Cody Christian, and it didn't say anything else. So we had a bunch of women in there named Frank and like Mark because he saw it said Ms. and he was trying to
I'm
write
pretty
it
sure
up.
there's actually an executive order bringing that back coming any minute now.
Well, Ms. Eric Schwartz better get in line.
Yeah, you tell her that.
Yeah, she's never once listened to one of these things.
All right, shall we do the news?
Sure.
Thurston County resident calls for Commissioner Wayne Fournier's resignation, alleges county personnel rules violation. Our boy under fire?
We hit him up on the same topic here. I'd like to say we were the first to hold his feet to the fire.
So, let's see. Thurston County resident John Pettit came to a commissioners meeting the other day, Tuesday, and said, I think you guys have been covering up for somebody else here on your own board. Somebody's working as a full-time fireman as their first position job and coming here and playing commissioner during the other time. Oh, what?
How dare they?
That's rude.
6-time co-host on this show.
That's not allowed by our own policies, Pettit continued. Integrity would say you'd resign your position here if you want to stay a fireman, or you would resign your position as a fireman if you want to stay a commissioner. I don't know. It's just what.
To me, it was kind of random, and I'm happy with Dylan Reuben King for going to the meeting and writing the story, but as Wayne says later, he's been a firefighter for 30 years. Like, this didn't come up at any other time. It almost reads like Pettit just found out that he was a firefighter.
Yeah.
And I don't know. The rule that's in the county code or whatever it gets to in here, it's like chapter 5.3 of the county's personnel rules are Thurston County employees shall not engage in employment or other outside activities such as volunteering and participating in an external board or committee that in any way interferes with or compromises their ability to perform. And I would say Wayne would probably argue it does not interfere or compromise.
Everybody accuses, government employees of being lazy, not doing anything. Wayne's out there working 2 jobs and people are coming at him. Rude.
150 hours a week.
Yeah. Anyway, I was shocked to open cronline.com 5 minutes before this podcast to read the news and learn that our boy was under fire.
Well, he's not my boy. This is evidence that no one is above the law.
You don't like having friends with 2 real jobs, do you? Well, you only have 1.
It takes 2 jobs worth.
Do you want to talk about the Derek Sanders info? Was that from that same meeting or a different one?
No, that was from the same meeting, and that was also from Dylan Rubin King, and it was just kind of a roundup of some of that sweet public safety tax money that they got that they are going to use to basically outfit the new deputies because they have brought on a bunch of new deputies. Let's see, we'll just do the roundup here. 2 additional grappler units. Those are those superhero, like Batman type thing.
Yeah, Batmobile.
Yeah.
Shoots out and grabs the wheel.
The Derek Copter too, right? Did they get that?
15 arresting nets.
Hell yeah.
18 mobile radios and 18 portable radios. I don't know the difference between a mobile radio and a portable radio.
I thought police radios were all kind of mobile and portable.
Yeah, I thought so.
Maybe one of them's like the one that goes in a car and the other one's like the one that goes in your pocket.
But anyways, he's got a cost breakdown in there and everything that they need. Commissioner Emily Klaus wanted to not vote on it and wait for a little while. Mm-hmm. And Sanders was like, come on. And the other commissioners were like,
good.
And Wayne was like, I got to get out of here. There's a fire in Oakville. No, none of that last stuff was true, except for the Klaus thing. But she abstained.
How can you say no to Derek?
He works hard. Another guy that works hard. He's probably got a side job as, I don't know, like a
T-ball coach, something like that.
There's no way he has additional time in being the most online sheriff of all time.
Schwartz was showing me that video of him just blasting Brooks and Dunn on that high-speed chase.
Yeah,
he's a real-life superhero.
My Maria.
From that same meeting, so...
Yeah, this is what I was getting at.
Rubin King just squeezed in the meetings. Man criticizes Thurston County Sheriff for alleged lack of help with 2023 theft. Sheriff Derek Sanders defended the agency's stance in response to the crime, which occurred in Tumwater. This was Sticks Custom portable bandsaw milling owner Brian Tremblay, who came to the commissioners and was quite displeased. The words Dylan used was, he had no knight in shining armor when it came to the theft of his sawmill in 2023. He did get his sawmill back. It had been damaged and some serial numbers removed and whatnot. And you have to read the story. It's a little convoluted, but he was not happy with the second suspect not being arrested, one of the suspects being released from jail, which is more of a judge thing than a sheriff thing. But Sanders talked about it a little bit, and it's interesting. It's in there.
Did Dylan just put a post on Truth Social or something before the meeting? Like, hey, if you want to yell at a commissioner, I'm going to be there. Please come do it now.
Dylan just went to that meeting, looking for blood.
Yeah. All right, next item. Graffiti, speaking of law enforcement, graffiti declared a public nuisance by the Chehalis City Council. Property owners now are responsible for removing graffiti. Blaming the victim, are we? The council is taking a step to address the increase in not only graffiti on public and private property, but also the issue of property owners failing to remove it. They voted unanimously Monday to add graffiti as a type of nuisance. They're going to give homeowners the opportunity to remove the graffiti, but if they don't, the city could take enforcement action. Randy Kaut, police chief, said the department has seen, quote, a few operators that have been pretty prolific lately, and then it caught a vandal recently thanks to a citizen report. I don't know. What graffiti? Big problem?
I think it's more, the headline seems a little misleading. Whoever wrote that is me. But it does seem like it's more towards the business owners. Like they want to make sure everyone knows that if this does happen to your property, you need to take care of it so they don't end up with a bunch of graffiti all around town. But city manager Stacey Denham does say right at the end of the story that if you can't do it, maybe you're not physically able or financially able, they'll get a little work party together. It doesn't sound like they're going to be too militant on enforcement, more of a let the community know you're kind of expected to handle this.
Yeah. All right.
It's worth noting that our reporter went looking for graffiti in Chehalis and couldn't find any.
Okay, well, it's out there.
Oh, it's in Centralia. I know some fine art in Centralia.
Yeah, you see a lot of it in Centralia.
There's some good stuff. Or you ever get caught at the train and you're not in a rush, so you're not frustrated, and you just sit there and read it.
Mm-hmm.
Some good stuff on there.
You think they like? You know what gets me is the ones that are, excuse me, put graffiti on like an overpass where clearly they have to be like. How do they do it? Do they like hang over and write upside down?
No,
I don't know.
They've got to have just a buddy grabbing their ankles, right? And just
there's some of that graffiti I've seen. I've wondered. It's quite impressive if you drive 5.
I bet they've got like big long kind of selfie stick type things you could put a graffiti can on.
Yeah,
you
that's
just
probably
like
what
attach
it is.
it and like fire up the aerosol can and then run it like that. They must be practicing or something. I don't know. Yeah, it's impressive. I'd like to know how they did it, and then I'd like them to stop.
Speaking of public nuisances, we will have a hot story out of the NVN next week. Our newest reporter out there, Jacob Farmer, is doing a great job. Clued me in that Rainier has a chainsaw bandit. They've named him and everything.
Somebody's
Somebody's just
chainsaws?
going around and cutting down trees.
Oh.
Like nice trees, desirable trees. So we talked about dressing him up as a sexy tree and putting him in like Wachowski Park over there.
Did he?
Cody's trying to figure out the soundboard.
Did the chainsaw bandit take a stab at that busty cutout of the lady outside the burger
the Rainier
joint, or what?
cowgirl? I would hope not. If you're trying to galvanize resistance, that's the way to do it.
How dare her ass was bigger yesterday.
Someone touch her, the lady of Rainier.
Yeah, how dare they?
But we'll have something on that. I imagine that might be our Sirens Banger of the week for next week.
All right, let's see. Next item, the school board. Shayla School Board votes to move forward on proposed regional Lewis County tennis and wrestling facility. What's all this?
You know about the tennis and wrestling facility, right? Or
Yeah, they're putting it over at Olympic Elementary.
Yeah, right
They got a
behind it.
big donation recently, I understand.
$100,000 from a Centralia resident of some sort. They're basically Jay Vanderstoop, president of the school board.
You mean a Chehalis resident of some sort?
No, it was a Centralia resident.
Really?
According to the news release, it was an anonymous thing. But he's president of the school board and I believe a backer of the tennis / wrestling facility.
Big tennis guy.
And he basically said, this is for you to come out and say if you hate the idea, love the idea, but we're going to vote on whether or not we're moving forward with it, which they did. The meeting was like an hour and a half. Emily, our reporter or assistant editor, but she covered this for us, said they had like the tennis team there, lots of backers. And
Steve Ward was there?
Yeah, Steve Ward is like the one pushing this thing.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, they're looking at 2 designs now. One of them's like a fabric dome structure. The other one's a steel structure. It would be like the home wrestling facility for the middle school, I believe, Shales Middle School. And then they'd be able to do tournaments and stuff. But they're talking about bringing in an operator that would like manage it, schedule it, things like that. And that group isn't going to charge anything. That's United States Tennis Association Pacific Northwest. So they'll come in and run it for free, basically. And then after that, there would be charges.
Interesting.
So I don't know.
Sounds like a solid
You
deal.
ever play tennis?
Like once or twice.
I bet you're really bad at it.
I wasn't great, no.
No.
Why would you assume that?
It's not great for T-Rex arms, my man.
Didn't have a lot of range, okay? Mobility wasn't great.
Why he's a golfer.
It's like the Michael Jordan of pickleball, though.
I've never played pickleball either. No, thank you.
Pickleball's a lot more fun than tennis.
Yeah, tennis is
it's
tiring.
the official sport of the state.
Pickleball?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
You didn't know that?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Neither was I. If you think it'd be like a cooler sport.
For Washington,
Yeah.
kayaking or something.
Yeah,
Competitive
should be.
kayaking? No, that is a thing, yeah.
All right, next item. Centerville Western Store celebrates 50 years in Centralia. Family business, and the owner is Trish Hubbard. And there's a picture of her. She's wearing pants that kind of look like they were made out of cow. And big photos of the store. They got a lot of boots in there. Cody took the photos. What was it like in Centerville?
It's good. It's a fun store. It's a good
Before we
place to kill
started,
time.
you were bragging that you had never been in there before.
I wasn't bragging.
Just
now that you
guessing
see
that
it-
no one shops there.
Now that you see my photos, do you want to go check it out?
I mean, I don't know. Like, look, man, I'm not going to wear cowboy boots.
Well, no, but I bet you they got flannels like you like.
Couldn't pull them off.
They got some sick vests and stuff.
No one would believe it if you wore cowboy boots.
I'd be like, get the hell out of here.
Yeah, you gotta have a certain aura to you.
These Tony Llamas with like the cactus spike deals on them, those are kind of sick.
Yeah, those are nice. That's where I get my boots when I've had to buy them. Is Centerville. They
There's
got
a nice
pretty good
history
deals.
of the business in here. This is from Owen Sexton. Founded in downtown Centralia in 1975 by Richard Dick Baker. Ran it with his wife, Joan. And now it's run by their daughter, Trish Hubbard. I liked this quote. "We really just want to honor my parents and what they did in the community," Hubbard said, "because we're not like the Hamiltons, who are remembered for doing such great things. We're just the Bakers from Seattle, Washington, that had a dream and moved down here." I was like, what the hell? Shots fired at the Hamiltons. I like to believe this is a family feud that's gone back to the 70s.
It kind of feels like it. Jeez.
We're not you could just replace Hamiltons with like Kardashians or something with like an
we're not the
upstart-
McCoys.
Yeah, we're not big time.
Do the Hamiltons have 24 hours to respond?
They should.
Yeah, there's going to be like somebody's going to go in the middle of the night in the Hamilton side. It's going to be like Centerville sucks.
Yeah, and then the history was like Dick, her dad, came to Centralia from Seattle, and he was a salesman, and he was selling Western apparel, which seems like a fun job.
Yeah.
Basically, the retailers couldn't figure out what he was saying because he was showing them how to display it, and they wouldn't do it. So she said they didn't listen to him to sell more products, so he thought, how hard can it be?
So he opened the store.
He opened 19 of them at one point, off and on, with 15 open at the same time, which I didn't realize. That's why the business, if you look it up online, is still Centerville Western Stores, plural, rather than singular, even though it is singular now. So,
all right.
Good story. I liked that one.
Next item, new state law will outlaw traveling animal circuses in Washington. Do we have an appropriate?
Everyone can eat shit. Big bag of shit.
I labeled them.
Yeah, Cody labeled the soundboard.
Oh, man. People are going to be real happy about that because anytime we publicize like a circus that has any sort of animal, the commentariat is furious.
You know, it's probably not great for the animals.
No, I agree. I 100%. I 100% agree. Every time I've ever been to an event with these, I can't get past, like, that is the saddest looking elephant I've seen. Like,
yeah, those
So you
animals
support
belong-
them. You go and buy a ticket.
I got kids, man.
Yeah.
I want to go to the circus. Don't twist this around on me.
I've never been to a circus either. I guess I haven't lived. I need to go to Centerville and then the circus.
Take them to something beneficial like the Loggers Jubilee.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's one of those little laws that kind of we're at that part of the session where Ferguson's signing bills and stuff, and there's not enough media to keep up with everything.
Mm-hmm.
So we got sent this. It's not exactly like super local story, but I was like, I have seen no coverage, so we will be the ones to provide coverage on this one.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess that covers out. Does that cover like the reptile man too?
You'll have to read the story for specifics. It's mostly like large animals. Let's see.
Elephants, bears, non-human primates.
Non-human primates is
Did
how
they
it was
need
written.
to? Did they need to
That's
specify?
how it was in the bill, my man. You can still have primates.
And large felines could no longer be used for traveling live audiences performances in the state of Washington. Well, all right.
And ownership of those animals is already outlawed.
One by one, ripping apart our freedoms.
Our rights.
The very fabric of society. I want to go watch a monkey dance.
That's the one thing here that we're losing is, I don't know if you guys know this about me, huge monkey fan. Just like the biggest monkey fan in the world.
I mean, I'm an ape guy, but yeah.
My chances now of getting an ape or monkey experience are much lower than they were before the law was
You
passed.
just go to a zoo, man.
I do often.
Just for the monkeys?
I love the monkeys.
What do you love so much
We
about
don't. It's like we're imprisoning other versions of ourselves. It's like I go in there and look, and they're looking into my eyes, and I'm looking into theirs. It's weird. You don't get that at like the other displays.
the aquarium?
Yeah. Brandon Hanson, a friend of the pod, and he still works here actually. He and we share an infatuation with the monkeys. Planet of the Apes will be a documentary someday. Reverse.
Yeah, I like if it's a big like a King Kong movie.
Yeah.
All about a King Kong movie.
Oh, so your monkeys have to be huge, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Totally devaluing the experience of the
Well,
common
like if I-
chimpanzee.
You know what they say? Hey, small minds only appreciate big monkeys.
Don't at me after I say this, but Dunstan checks in, one of the greatest sports movies of all time. Or Dunstan at third. What was it? Remember Dunstan, the chimp movies?
I thought Dunstan was just like Dunstan works at a hotel.
Dunstan checks in, but there's also one where he plays third base. I'm like positive of
Is that the one with Matt LeBlanc?
Probably. That sounds about right.
I've never heard of this.
All right. Next item. I don't know. What should we talk about next? What else
I
is
just
on the list?
invented this thing. I don't know.
Jim Walsh's Doge legislation.
You ever hear about this thing called Curious George?
I'm thinking of Ed. I said correction
Yeah,
for the
Ed.
record. Ed, greatest sports movie of all time. Dunstan, just a good drama.
Somebody watched Ed and was like, what if Ed was a dog? And then they made Air Bud. Next item, State Rep Jim Walsh offers Doge legislation. Hit it.
I'm a dog. I'm a dirty dog.
The state legislative session is scheduled to come to a close in less than 2 weeks, but that's not stopping Washington Republican Party Chair and State Rep Jim Walsh, Republican out of Aberdeen, for putting forth a bill that has virtually no chance of passage in the Democrat-controlled legislature. This bill would create a Washington Department of Government Efficiency, a new legislative agency charged with identifying outdated rules, eliminating waste, and cracking down on agencies that operate beyond their legal authority. Its first order of business, telling Walsh to stop filing symbolic bills with no chance of passage.
Yeah, it doesn't have any chance of passage, but in an update to the story today, it's actually like a Center Square story, but he said kind of the intent is it's a fully written bill that someone could just go grab right now and turn it into an initiative, and then there could be a Doge initiative.
Uh-huh.
So there's like a path for Doge, but yeah, it definitely is going to pass in the legislature.
Good.
Or I'd be surprised if it passed in the legislature. I was telling you about that other story we had on Cronline from the Standard. Bob Ferguson was considering sending the National Guard to the border with Canada and sending President Trump a nice message that was like, we want to help you with fentanyl.
Uh-huh.
They didn't end up doing it, but, I don't know. Bob Ferguson, kind of a strategist. You don't really know what he's going to do. What if he started his own Doge?
Like the weekend National Guard guys up there on the border with their guns trained on like trees. They're like, we're looking for fentanyl.
Oh,
like,
man. They'd probably shoot a Pacific Crest Trail hiker.
What are you looking for, eh? Fentanyl. Oh, sorry.
I could be there. Who knows?
We don't have any of those drugs you're looking for, but if you'd like to share a nice pint of Molson's down at the lodge. Anyway, next item. Owen.
That came way too naturally for you.
Owen spent a night with some ghosts.
Possibly.
A night at the Chronicle. The paranormal research team visits to investigate stories of ghost encounters. And they brought a dog with them, which is good because the closest thing to a ghost you're going to see is a big rat. And you'd want that dog to catch it.
Hey, we do not have rats anymore, Aaron.
You just haven't
not
seen
since
any in a
like the
while.
summer of 2020 have we had rats in here.
This is a long story.
There were a lot of rats in here.
Long form. Yeah, rat. Anyway, long story by Owen.
It wasn't that long.
I'm still scrolling, man.
Maybe I double pasted or something. Owen's he's our East Louis County reporter and our business reporter, and then basically anything weird. And he had heard enough ghost stories around here, including my famous microwave incident, that he asked if he could have this paranormal team here. They're the group that goes over to the Lewis County Historical Museum from time to time.
Yeah.
And we won't know their findings for a while. The interesting part is they said in this conference room right over here that someone was phantom scratched, which I had never heard of before, while they were sitting there doing their stuff.
There's a photo of
There's
it.
a photo of her scratches on her arm. But then Owen stayed here after they left all night, which I thought was hilarious. He was just lumbering about up here. If someone came to check in down in the office, Owen would have been the ghost as far as like they were concerned. He just hung out. I think he had his dog with him.
If I was a ghost and I saw Owen coming down the hallway, I'd be scared.
Exactly. He reported nothing, but we'll see once they get their recordings processed and whatnot what happened.
All right.
Do you think there's a ghost in here?
No, I think all the weird sounds and shit we hear in this building can be explained by the fact that it's really old and there's holes everywhere.
Yeah, I agree with you for the most
Do you
part.
believe in ghosts?
Not really. No.
The microwave incident, though, that's the only one that freaked me out enough that I left. But you do hear footsteps and stuff all the time, and it's just it's this ancient building settling, like I feel like most of the time. There are areas where you can just do little cracks in the walls where it would have to settle down and find a new like equilibrium at some point. But we will have a follow-up, whether you like it or not, about whether or not there are ghosts in here. So we'll see.
Yeah, I like Owen. Given that our office building is currently for sale and we're possibly going to move, I decided to do a little paranormal investigation myself while I still had the chance.
Let's try it real quick. You guys be real quiet. If there's ghosts in this room, do something. We got nothing. No ghosts. No ghosts.
I swear the doorknob was just about to turn, man.
What would you have done
started
if just
wiggling.
Cody was suddenly up against the wall, just like,
like Conjuring style.
just screaming and crying? We wouldn't have been able to finish the podcast.
I think we would have. Let Cody get down from there.
Would
Quit farting around.
Would the people believe you, though?
Yeah, I don't
No.
think so. Anyways, just because I don't think it's on the budget otherwise, on that weird story Owen beat, for today he has Oakville Blobs return. Question mark? Resident says she and
Paranormal
neighbors saw
reporting.
mysterious blobs falling from the sky once again last week. We got pictures of the blobs here, Aaron, if you haven't seen them. That's a blob right there.
Looks legit.
It looks legit to me.
Yeah, it does look like a blob.
It's a lot bigger than the blob, though, of 1994 that made, like, Unsolved Mysteries, and you can find just an bottomless, there's a very rich Reddit channel for this.
What's your guys' theory on the Oakville blob?
I have no idea,
Where they
but-
come from?
Yeah, I don't
According
caused
to
them?
the reporting, the
Chemtrails.
the
Where's your imagination?
1994, I don't know. I liked the that it sucked up jellyfish. It's like a storm sucked up jellyfish and then like
shit.
rained down on
I
Oakville.
didn't think about that.
We get reports like this every other year or so from people who are aware of the blobs. They find a blob and then they'll let us know. It's usually some sort of like explanation that isn't unexplainable. This one, first one, we have like really clear pictures and everything. And the woman that told us about it said she saw them falling from the sky. So that's kind of new. Usually it's just something someone finds on their car or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
So another one where I don't know that you're going to ever get any answers to any of it, but Owen asked if you've found blobs, let him know about it, and he'll write a story. So
All right.
I like the Oakville blob story.
Do you want to go through any of my old news items? Winco opened.
Yeah, we.
I don't know if you've heard about this.
I mean, if
There
we
was a
don't put it on
massacre
the
in
record.
Centralia.
People were excited about Winco. Man, you could just type the word Winco on Facebook and hit send, and it would have 1,000 likes on that day. People were thrilled.
Except for the one guy who got furious every time there was a Winco
Yeah, he was
update,
the
to
guy.
where his friends were tagging him in the comments, and he's like, "God damn it!"
Stop it!
One of the top comments on
Is
that.
his name Johnny Walmart?
No.
Is he a Walton, perhaps?
One of the top
it was-
comments on the Winco post was someone was like, "Hooray, no pajamas!"
Like, what does that mean?
Like everyone wears their pajamas to Walmart for some reason.
I guarantee there's people at Winco right now.
No, I
in
went to Winco a
pajamas.
couple days ago and saw some pajamas.
Was
I just
that-
thought it was a funny comment.
It'd be funnier if you went to Winco and everybody was dressed like like it was the 50s and like a full suit and tie and like a top hat.
You know, that's the kind of vibe I get when I walk into Winco. Just good old fashioned bulk foods, quality prices, no messing around.
Easy. They're not a sponsor.
Calm down, there. Calm down, Johnny Winco.
Johnny Winco.
We're still largely furnished by Fuller's in here. So
Yeah, where do you think this booze that Schwartz and I are drinking, but you're not, came from?
Yeah.
Fuller's.
Anyways, have you guys been in there yet?
I haven't made it over there yet.
I haven't. My wife's been in there like 5 times though. So
Been there like
I'm not
3
opposed
times.
to it, but since it opened, Fuller's has been the parking lot's been less full.
Yeah.
I've taken advantage of that,
yeah, no,
as
I like
well
it.
as the fine prices and selection at Fuller's.
Exactly. The fine prices and selection. Check out the deli. Also not a sponsor, so we better cut it off there.
Yeah. All right. Any other? Let's see. We had the lawmakers
Safeway,
responded
too.
to. I don't stop by Safeway very often. Game farm thing. They sent a letter, a sternly worded letter that said, "Do not let birds shit where we eat."
Yep, that's a good point. We went and got some photos of the place, shared them online. There wasn't really any news to go with them, but there's no birds in there anymore. The birds are gone. They
What
said
have
they
you-
were going to move the birds off of that area, but there are clearly no birds there. So I think WDFW maybe didn't say in the meeting we're getting rid of all of our birds. This is just conjecture on my part.
Did
Which
they actually get rid of the birds, or did they just take the net off the top of the place and let nature? Do
I
its
don't
thing
think
and
I
just
haven't seen
let 'em-
any pheasants.
Just let them go.
I haven't seen any pheasants, so I don't know. I've seen a few in our neighborhood up on the Wanch Prairie. I don't know if that there's. If you drive that road, Mount Vista Road, which I always do leaving my kids' soccer, Fort Borse,
Yeah.
there's almost always a free pheasant just along the road there.
Oh, I'm
that
sure
has
some of them
gotten
get out.
Yeah.
All right, we're
Coming
gonna
for
take a
our
break.
aquifer.
We'll be
This is
back.
Jeff and Julie from Fairway Lanes.
Jeff and I met Jasic of Summit Funding at our bowling center, so when we fell in love with this community and it was time to relocate, we knew we would be calling Summit Funding.
They understand that everyone has a unique situation when buying a home.
He had already helped 2 of our employees get into their own homes. The Summit Funding team exceeded our expectations. It was a seamless experience with great communication from his whole team.
Thank you to Summit Funding for making our buying experience special and memorable.
All right,
true.
we're back. It's time for segments, and first up is Tales from the Takes page. And John McCroskey is back.
You will not guess what he's writing about
His
this
column is called Taxing Everything in Sight Must Come to an End. And he's talking about how he is old now and retired. And taxes are too high, says John McCroskey, a man who has lived off the taxpayer dime
Oh, come on.
for the vast majority of his life.
week. Whilst forming the thin blue line that has protected us.
Still funded by
As a
taxpayers
Chronicle
and his
columnist.
retirement from the county position he held. and Social Security.
So
I would
you're
assume.
saying because he worked a lifetime as a lawman and he is retired that he should not be able to criticize misspending by the state and federal government. He did
You know
spread it
what?
around.
The first thing we should do is cut all county employees' pensions
That's not a
Gone.
big deal. Hey, there we go.
and Social Security too. Gone.
In state as well. State
Medicare,
pensions, state,
gone.
State pensions.
Sure.
Ah, good. Man, if Doge ever shows up, I've got some news for them. The second they get here, I know where I'm sending them.
This newspaper tax is unconstitutional.
No, I mean, he hits all the regulars here. Talked about how when his dad died, his mom couldn't afford much. He always assumed she could just write a check for everything and didn't understand as a child why it was a problem. And was basically saying that's how the Democrats are running state government right now. It's just there's bottomless money. We just have to take more from the people, which isn't that inaccurate.
All right, sure. We are told that Social Security, but not welfare, will run out of money in a few years. Who told you that? Who told John McCroskey that Social Security,
media.
but not welfare,
The
will run
media.
out of what?
Let's just move on. I don't know how we still get worked up on a John McCroskey column when he's saying the same damn thing he says every week. But yeah, this is illustrating why we have him here. He's provocative. He gets the people going. Maureen Harcum's column was really enjoyable. I loved it. It's not like classic opinion stuff, but it's growing up on a farm with agricultural aspirations of my own. And she basically writes about growing up on a farm in a different time. And basically, because she was a woman getting shot down from doing just about anything she wanted to, only the men could artificially inseminate the cattle or the cows.
There's an executive order coming on that any minute now.
It's just a good read, but like it sounds like it was very frustrating for her because she knew she had to get an agricultural job, and they asked her. She remembered her grandma asking her what degree she was going to get at WSU, and she said an MRS.
Oh, yeah.
Be a missus. But that was like basically how she was taught is like you will go to school, you will find a husband, and then you will have a backup in case you need a job.
Cody,
Because-
you're going to
yeah.
WSU, your official trip this weekend.
You gonna get your MR?
You going to get your MR?
My MR, yeah.
But it was a fun read. I'm not from that world, so I don't really understand it. And some of the things that she really wanted to do in agriculture are things I would never assume anyone would want to do. And I don't know. It was a good walk. There wasn't like an overall point to it. It was just like her experience.
Yeah, I mean, that's
that's good.
something that hits fairly close to home. I mean, I think my grandmother went to WSU. I think she was roommates with Cody's grandmother, actually.
Yes, she was.
So yeah, that's us hardworking men of the land. Cody and I understand this kind of column. While you, goddamn vagabond from the East Coast, a liberal elite.
How many chokers have you set in your life? Logging chokers.
How many have you said?
A summer's worth.
One.
One summer's worth. Real manly man work.
No, this is a pretty good
It's
column.
impressive.
Letter to the editor. I had a lot of letters to the editor. Only one today is Sheriff Should Retire. This is a Kyle Wheeler joint.
I mean, it just look at check for updates any minute now. You might be getting there.
Yeah, I don't think so. Julie McDonald, thoughts churn over senseless deaths, anger, and higher taxes. She covers a lot of ground. Tragically, it sounds like her daughter-in-law I can't remember the exact relation, but someone died in a murder-suicide, and she kind of leads off with that, and then she's just talking about the cost of housing, bounces around a lot, writes a little bit about Shalom Village. We're going to have an update on that pretty soon. That's the housing project here in Centralia. And then just how Washington is the 8th most expensive state in the nation for retirees, and she finishes it off with when residents face a budget shortfall, they usually do just that, look at places to curb spending, and kind of wonders why the state doesn't do that. A little bit of a McCroskey angle on that one. Sean Swope, when the state pushes parents aside, we all lose. This column starts with this weekend, I made a mistake.
He did, on the internet, we used to call this eating the trash.
Yeah.
It's just like when your dog gets into the trash and you're like, you shouldn't do that. You're making a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
He reposted some propaganda he read about a bill,
Parents' rights bill.
the Parents' Rights Bill, and all the claims that it would enable your child to check themselves out of school at the age of 9 to marry an illegal transgender immigrant over
stuff.
lunch break.
It was what
And the
you
school
hear
wouldn't
from
have
the
to tell
right.
you about it.
I think a lot of it was stuff that had been in the bill at some point but was stripped out of it, and others had been like proposed amendments and things like that. But yes, he was wrong, and the Lewis County Democrats took him to task for it on social
I can't
media.
believe the Lewis County Democrats haven't done that. He's been doing things you could easily take him to task in the same manner before for 6 years now.
I
Just
think
spouting
the Lewis
nonsense
County
and
Democrats
lies.
have a somewhat new executive director that we, not executive director, chair, that we wrote about previously, and he's kind of infused more social media activity. But yeah, it was
he's
like
very on top of it.
it was a slide-for-slide repudiation of everything, or refutal, I guess, of everything that was in there. And the next morning, I had this from the commissioner in my inbox, and we went ahead and ran it. And I don't know, he made the mistake and then kind of doubled down on.
Yeah.
There's still these 2 other bills that are
Even
pretty
with
bad.
those amendments, there's still 2 bills.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
these.
I think zeroing in that he was wrong, beginning's fine. I think you're going to find a lot of people in Lewis County agree with his points, and on the parents' rights bill, that has soured for a lot of people. But
Sure.
I know you want this to be a posterizing of Swope. It's you over top of him dunking on.
I
him
have
with the
nothing to do with
Democrats.
this. My stance on the whole parents' rights debacle remains the same. That every one
So
of these
you
concerns,
agree it's a debacle?
every
Thank
one
you.
of
Let's
these-
move on to the next.
There we go.
Let
Every
us
one of
move
these
along
concerns
to
could
United
be
Learning
abated.
Center.
debacle. You heard it from Aaron.
It's
But the letters were very good. U.S. is sliding into a dictatorship. Washington Dems budget gimmick shortchanges state retirees. My personal favorite. I've lived here my entire 76 years. I'm done.
prove it.
That was a good one.
Is this what you voted for, MAGA voters?
Yes.
Please respect the American flag and retire the tattered ones.
I thought this said retire the tattooed ones, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh, what do you chop that arm off?
Defunding of libraries is disturbing.
It is.
Yeah, anyways, lots of good letters. We had John Braun writing about property tax.
Uh-huh.
That's long and short of it. Jeff Wilson has a whole thing on how we need to get out there and start murking those sea lions. Stop seeing them as being the cute cuddly things that they are, and just start putting bullets in heads, man.
Does he know somebody with a gun? Probably.
Possibly. But yeah, it takes us back quite far.
Jeff Wilson, do you have a gun with you to start this process now? He's like, maybe.
I don't. I literally don't know,
He
sir.
starts patting his pockets. He's like, well.
It's like the movie trope, just pulling out guns from everywhere. I got him.
All right. Yeah, that was Tales from the Takes page. Do you want to talk about the roof doctor?
Oh, of course, I want to talk about the roof doctor. It's real.
What's your
sunny out
favorite
there.
thing about a good roof?
Well, I mean, this time of year, it feels like, baseball's coming back. A lot of people get excited about spring training. The Mariners are playing in Arizona.
Yeah.
It's the type of the year when I like to walk around the neighborhood back behind the Chronicle and just smell the spring in the air, and you listen and you hear this telltale signs, just the rat-a-tat-tat on the roofs.
And you
Roofing
walk around the
season is
corner.
here, baby.
Damn right.
If you want to see it done right, you'll call the roof doctor. They'll
That's
start
right.
you out with a free estimate before you hear those sweet pitter-patters on your roof.
Yeah, they'll come out and evaluate your roof for you, give you a free estimate, decide if you want new roofing, re-roofing, roof repair. Maybe you just want your roof clean. You're like, you know what, it's in pretty good shape. Just it's got a little bit of moss up there. So if your roof is under the weather, call the roof doctor at 360-669-2099 or visit them online at theroofdoctor.com.
Did you make it to the home show over at the fairgrounds last weekend?
No.
Oh, Chamber of Commerce had it. I don't know if the roof doctor was there or not.
I
Should have
did.
been, though. You did make it.
The roof doctor was not there.
No? Was there any other roofers?
They're out busy, actually, doing work.
Roofing. They
fixing
probably didn't have
roofs.
time. They were
Yeah,
probably on the roof of the pavilion,
probably. I didn't look.
giving
I
them a
should've.
free estimate while everyone else was in there trying to sell.
No, I don't think there were any roofers this year.
All right.
That's kind of
Hot tubs and electric nightstands that played Kenny Rogers.
Oh, hell yeah. How many did you get?
They had them set out, and they definitely knew their target audience because a bunch of elderly people came over to the electric Bluetooth nightstand, and it was playing the Kenny Rogers, and they were just blown away.
Love it. Love to see it.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good thing to watch.
All right. People's Champion of the Week.
I don't know. I don't really have one off the top of my head. Did you?
No, I had some ones from like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but I'm sure that
Well,
news
you
is...
can go ahead and propose them. I mean, you could propose Jim Walsh for his heroic offering of Washington. I'm a doge.
No.
I'm a doge. I'm a dirty doge.
all right, we'll skip People's Champion.
I
this
mean, there
week.
was the Republicans' Lewis County and Lincoln Day dinner. You could probably find a hero for yourself from there, Aaron. I know you're a fan.
Yeah, that looked like a like a real blast. Who was their speaker this year?
Jim
Walsh.
It was,
Jim Walsh.
yeah, it was Jim Walsh. It was Jim Walsh. Swope was supposed to be one of them, but it ended up being Commissioner Brummer.
Oh, why couldn't Swope do it?
He had an emergency of some sort. And
He had to get home and write his sorry.
Be
I
careful.
posted
We
that
don't know what the
dumping
emergency
column.
is, so you don't make light when you don't know.
It must have been significant if he, you know. And I hope
This is like
everything's
you and the
fine.
Blue Baby
I hope
thing.
everything's
You
fine.
were going to force something into
I'm
being
trying
funny.
to say something nice, and you're over here going on one of your patented rants,
My patented rants.
throwing a fit, raising your voice.
I'm not. Don't put in the newspaper that I'm mad. Let's see. We got Pulse Heart Institute's new cardiology clinic is opening up. That was quite popular. You could put them as our heroes of the week.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You got anything, Cody?
Not that I can think of.
What was the coolest assignment you had this week?
Cool assignment? It's Wednesday. I mean, I haven't done a lot this week. I mean, do sports count? I shot a good baseball game.
Oh, here we go. Here's our hero of the week. Grand opening set for Pacific Northwest Doo-Doo Crew in Chehalis.
Oh, yeah.
Got to
cool.
make that the hero of the week.
Unfortunately, I will not be here to cover that ribbon cutting.
I'll get somebody at that ribbon cutting.
Yeah,
It's
get a little tiresome on that one.
interesting business. We were discussing like scaling this bad boy because right now it's like this the owner and her truck. I don't know how you can get enough poop to make this profitable, but I'd like to know more about the business. Cody, when you return next week, you should do a deep dive on the doo-doo farm.
I mean, everyone poops.
They do.
Everything.
I mean, I'm sure my kid would love it if we hired this place or this business for our place. We also have Jeff McQuarrie. He 20 years ago did a set of films on WSU football history. So we did a feature on that, looking back. It was fun. Anyways, that's it.
All right. Your favorite advertiser? Chehalis Outfitters.
Oh, yeah.
It's their spring savings event still going on. You know what's coming up? Oh, we just missed it. Free Easter Bunny photos were last weekend.
Oh, they don't have any more?
I mean, if you called Kelly, you got an in.
He's a busy guy.
I do know that there is a 4-page spread of their next sale in the Thursday edition of the Chronicle that you're going to want to pick up because you're mentioning this spring sale, but they will have a brand new sale beginning tomorrow.
Woo.
So hit that up. Let's see what else they got going. They had a free fishing seminar this Saturday. They have a free fishing seminar on April 19th at 10 a.m. This is part 2 of their exclusive seminar with angler Lee Barkey from Northwest River Fishing. I do believe Lee Barkey was one of our best of Lewis County fishing guides at one point. I don't know if it was most recently or not. And then, you can go on to their Facebook page and look at dozens upon dozens of photos of this thick-thighed Easter bunny. Look at that. Bunny's thick.
Yeah, that is bunny thick, as the kids say.
There's tons of photos in there of that. And, Chehalis Outfitters, check them out.
All right. Facebook comments?
Wait, no Sirens Banger of the Week?
Oh, yeah, you had a good one.
I wouldn't say it's a good one, but yeah, I can pull it up here. There was a woman booked into Lewis County Jail. She thought that her drug test, which showed that she failed, was a false positive, and she was convinced that she had another clean drug test in her medical records. So what was she to do except for get her friend to pretend to be a doctor and request her medical records from the sheriff's office and pose as if being from CMAR Olympia. The gentleman in this case was Robert Walters, 64, the accomplice. Rochelle Schneeberger, once accused in a murder up in Thurston County, exonerated apparently, or they didn't charge, but that's what we have on our archives on her. She asked him to pretend to be this doctor, and what I appreciate most is that Robert Walters did request the records, and he did so as Dr. Roberto Walters. So he just threw an O on the end of his name and was like, I am a totally new person, Dr. Roberto Walters. Unfortunately, the fax machine was just like covered, or the fax that he sent in requesting the records was just filled with like misspellings and inaccuracies. And then they called CMAR Olympia and they were like, look, we have no idea who this guy is. So they...
You're not Dr. Roberto Walters.
So they charged both of them. Somewhat ironically, Deputy Prosecutor Brad Meager called... an inconsistent urinalysis, so this was the woman's original concern, on her violation, and the defense and prosecutors agreed to drop those charges that got her in there to begin with. So it's one of those things that kind of worked. She got her charges dropped, but now they're keeping her in there and charged her with this one, which charges for, you can't pretend to be a doctor and get medical records.
Well, I mean, why not?
To me, the worst part about this story, because we see this just constantly, and I don't know how criminals or alleged criminals make this mistake so often. Don't discuss your plans on the jail phone, man. They're listening. Like, that's how they got caught. Every time, that's how they get caught. They're, like, talking about it. How would you feel safe having, like, a discreet phone call if you're in jail? I don't get that.
Well, maybe they could have claimed attorney-client privilege or doctor-patient privilege.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyways,
It was a doctor.
That's your science banger of the week.
I've only got a few Facebook comments on the Winco opening.
Oh,
a holdover.
Okay. Oh.
I can't believe how much hype there is over a stupid grocery store. Yay, more crap food to stuff in our gobs.
Oh, come on.
It's like, that's pretty good.
Oh, never mind. I got my hero of the week.
Oh, yeah? Is it Winco?
The next commenter.
We need a Golden Corral around here. Longview or Tacoma is ridiculously far.
I wish we had one in Longview or Tacoma. You got to go all the way to Vancouver to get some Golden Corral. I'm not even sure if the one's still up in King County anymore. And if those two are not an option, you got to go all the way to Spokane.
When was the last time you had Golden Corral?
It's been a long time. Too long.
Too long.
It's too far away.
He knows where all the Golden Corrals are.
Oh, yeah. I think there's 3 in Washington.
I'd rather have a Texas Roadhouse before Golden Corral.
Oh, man. They get a Golden Corral over there by Winco. I'm going to move to the neighborhood. It's going to happen.
Buy that one house that's left standing.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Just be surrounded.
All right. Anything we missed?
I think you hit the highs and lows of it.
All right. In closing, we're sponsored by Summit Funding, Shieldless Outfitters, and the Roof Doctor. Leave a review and rating on Apple Podcast if you want, or send us an email at chroniclenewsdump@gmail.com.
Winter came hard, yeah, but she came